Aloha mai kako, Mr. Augie Tulba, Augustus Tulba. It has so much mana when I say Augustus.
Well, it's Augusto, but
Augusto.
a lot of my friends call me Augustus.
Okay,
well,
thank
Augusto
you for
is
grace.
my Filipino
Augusto.
grandpa, and then my middle name is Emery.
Salamat po, Augusto.
Which is the Howley side.
Oh, Emery.
So yeah, it's
delicious.
Augusto, Emery, Tulba.
Welcome, Mr. Tulba.
I use Augie because Augusto's too sexy. You know, can you imagine?
I hope
Augusto,
we got it on camera, and we're right here in front of the whole public. Thank you so much. Now, you've done comedy as you are doing now, right now, live. You've done radio and television. I was listening to you on the radio this morning. County Council for Honolulu City and County. You're a multi-talented, hard-working celebrity. You've also won 2 Nahoku Hano Hano Awards for Comedy Album of the Year.
Yeah.
And maybe little-known fact is, 16 years old, he won Golden Gloves. Now, back in the day, I'm a kiddie of the 70s, a lady of the 80s. My daddy used to make me watch Muhammad Ali, Frazier, The Rumble in the Jungle. Like, we know boxing.
It was an event. Everybody sat around, watched TV, right? And
yes,
saw,
sir.
You know, Muhammad Ali beat Joe Frazier and Zaire.
Sir.
You know, George Foreman, sorry.
George Foreman, the Foreman Grill, but now passed. But yes, we were very much into boxing, so kudos. But what I want to nail down into quite quickly here is that what many of us don't know, is that recently you were in a round in the ring that brought you to your knees. And this was the passing of your brother.
Yeah.
Can you share on that? Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, so, you know, my brother and my cousin, like one of my biggest supporters as far as coming out to help hold signs, campaigning.
For your political run.
Yeah, and both of them were ex-convicts. So, you know, when I took the picture, when I signed the paper that I was going to run, posted the picture on social media, and people went, hey, bro, half the guys in your pictures was in jail. Yeah, it's my family. Sorry. You know.
Kam IV, what's up?
You know what's nice about the whole thing is that during that whole process, I saw who my friends were.
Yes, sir.
And the people that was important in my life, you know, my cousins and my family, they knew like, wow, no one's helping. And I say this not to be mean, but I performed for maybe every union, business. And when I ran for office, people were like, let me stay far away from Augie. He's the comedian. And I
never thought about that, Augie, because I have known you. I love comedians, love your shows. You're right. You've been performing for over 30 years. Back in the day, you were the only comedian to sell out the Blaisdell in your Aloha Oe show, right? Then Tumua came. Love you, Tumua. But you're the man, Augie.
Well, what's crazy
and no one came to be there with you or stand with you. And that you're right, because in local style, it's either at weddings or at luau, you find out who your friends really are.
Well, when you run for office, you find out real quick, you know, who supports you, who don't. And I saw all the mean comments, which gave me really
Is this a joke? Is he for real?
Which gave me fire, because everything I've done in my life, from boxing to comedy to running for office has always been a calling. And I think that's the reason why, like, people ask me, how come your show still $15? Because it was never a job.
Wow.
I never looked at doing comedy. Was I blessed to do all those great shows? Yeah, but I never saw it as a job. Like, you know, this is kind of cool. I get to talk and get paid, right? And then, you know, my radio job, same thing. It's the same thing. Like, when I don't feel like I'm needed there, or I feel like it's come to an end, the
thrill is gone,
I'm done.
Right.
I leave, because I always feel like God will always provide or find one way for you to, like, so I've never been
And even
worried.
Your councilman job, you were the one who went, according to the newspaper, said a 64% pay raise is absurd, and that's no joke. That was your quote. You'll work for free for the people. I know you, Augie.
Well, I knew coming in to the council that was my pay, and it's not part-time or full-time. The qualification to be a city council member is you have to live in a district and you have to graduate from high school.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Right? And then I have a staff that I pay well to help me understand what I'm reading,
Mhm.
because I always feel like the way our founding fathers did it was the correct way. You go in, you're
Come
a
on.
businessman, you a farmer, you an entrepreneur, you go, okay,
Industrialist, right.
I like know why certain things in government operates the way it does, and you go and you learn,
Mhm.
and you do your term, and then you
Right.
leave.
You're not there to make a living.
Correct.
Become a billionaire.
So my fear is they're saying stuff like, well, if you give us more money, you know, we can work longer, we can work harder.
Mhm.
We do that already.
Right. You're supposed to be working
That's
hard,
correct.
sir.
Or the other was like, you know, we can attract more new candidates. But then they started talking about, like, you know, education. And mind you, I'm the only one in the city council that don't have a college education. Doesn't mean that.
You are a governor, though. Farrington High School.
The thing is like,
hey, I
you
went
don't
to
even
Hilo
know.
High. It's the worst high school in the state of
You
Hawaii.
know, there are challenges for me getting to college, but not
Dang,
like
really? You don't
I
have a
had.
college degree?
No, yeah, I don't have no college degree.
But you're working for the people is the point. You would do it for free. And when you ran for office, just to
Yeah.
hooky us back into this, your brother, an ex-con,
Mhm.
was one of the few guys standing next to you.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of cool. You know, every morning these guys would wake me up like, "Where you at?" They'll be there
On the
at
corner,
4:30
on the block.
before. Yeah, where you at? Come in. Jeez, bah. What, you running for office or we running for? But it was kind of cool because when I looked across, you know, I saw my brothers and I saw my cousin, and I know what their past was like. And in my head, I was like, maybe this is just their small way of saying sorry, but also like, wow, somebody from our family,
Come on.
right?
Yeah.
Doing something so out of
Rising
the
up.
box,
Mhm.
you know, because we live, my family, we're not the richest. We live a very simple life, right?
In fact, you've
Not-
said extremely poor, and you were at
Yes.
Kam IV Housing, which is here in Kalihi.
Yes.
Highest crime rate in the state in our district.
Yeah.
And a pretty hardcore. I mean, we have gangs running in some of our elementary schools.
Yeah.
And that's where you grew up.
Yeah. And, you know, I was like, and that was the best time of my life because I got to spend time with them, you know, because, you know, you, as kids, you grow up, you do all the crazy things together, and then, you know, life takes you in different directions. To have my brothers and my family around me, spending time holding signs was a good time for like talk story.
Yeah.
Like, how you doing?
It's a lot of time.
Right? Man, we're so excited that you running. And, it, you know, it's pretty cool, you know, winning with a small team of people that you know had your back no matter what. And then when I say you see your friends, there are a lot of people that I did stuff for, never responded to my emails.
Wow.
Never came out to help. And never get mad because I knew the landscape, right? I knew like...
You're entering the political arena, and if we think about Rome and the arenas with the lions and the bears and the animals, this is worse than Rome, I feel. Now, let me add to that, and a lot of people may not know who are watching. On the very day you declared your candidacy for councilman with your wife, you were let go, both of you were partners on the radio, let go from radio that same day.
Yeah.
And that's happening in the back of your head. You both have zero jobs, zero livelihood in the state of Hawaii, which, by the way, highest cost of living, highest taxes in the nation. Hi, welcome to unemployment.
Right, and I just told everybody I was done doing comedy. I shot my last special at the Blaisdell.
That was the sellout at the Blaisdell.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on this new path, right? But I also knew, like, from conversations that I had with the station, that was going to be okay, right?
And now no more.
Especially if you're making money for somebody, right? So we're going to be okay. So like never been fired in my life. Can you imagine you walk into one room and you just know like something is wrong, right?
And that's radio. You can get fired on a dime.
And the general manager was crying before even, and I knew it. Oh, you guys gonna fire me? And mind you, the night before, I wrote all these amazing letters to people who I felt like made a difference in my life. I had no idea, right? So I remember just walking in the rain, and my wife was at Honolulu, and all the news were there. They're gonna interview me on why I'm running. And I had to tell her, guess what? I lost my job. Oh boy! So if you watch that interview, I was like all over the place because I was worried.
You were not you.
In my mind, I was like, maybe I shouldn't run. But then I just...
Maybe I should go back to comedy. You were thinking of every way that you're going to make...
But I also knew that if I did that, then people were going to think that because a lot of people thought that I was doing that as a gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, like a political...
like
a stunt.
That this is going to be like some reality TV gig for
I wanted to learn.
Holly Girl.
I was mad at the way things were running, and I just wanted to sit at the table and listen, and I wanted to learn.
Is that why you ran?
Yeah.
Because I saw an interview you were doing with your family, with Holly Girl, his wife Kim, and you said you were inspired by Governor Lingo to make a difference.
Long time ago. She asked me to run for office a long time ago. I became a Republican during the Lingo administration.
Wow.
Then I left the party, and then I was like, I'm not gonna run as a Democrat or Republican because I saw both sides being very crazy. And I went, okay,
crazy.
I'm gonna run as a nonpartisan.
Wow.
Right, but everyone knew
you wanted to make a difference, but not do all of the crazy shenanigans of political.
And nonpartisan is really you working for people, right?
Yeah. Moderate.
Yeah, and it was very eye-opening because no matter what, people just kind of identified you as. In fact, some union, I'm not gonna say all of them. I maybe one saying because when the letter that was attached to the name, and I was like, but this is city county is nonpartisan.
Right. It's supposed to be.
So you get to learn a lot
of the reality of politics.
And again, I don't hold grudges because if I lost, then I got to go look for something else and find another interest. But the quiet confidence I always had from a little kid, a little boy, or people telling me that if you work the hardest, no matter what,
which you do,
there's victory, right?
Yeah.
So inside, I knew like I had a chance to win because I was working harder than anybody else. And then I was listening to what people were saying at the door. And I still, was it hurtful hearing some of the things that I saw or... Yeah, because people don't know me, right? They just kind of assume what you see. And that's okay. Because you get an opportunity in life daily to prove them wrong by your works, the success in your life.
Results speak for themselves.
Yeah. And I've always been that kind of person. If I'm wrong, I just admit, sorry.
You're good at that.
Have to move on.
I've seen you make public apologies for certain topics you did in comedy, and you had no problem owning it and saying sorry to these groups of people.
Yeah.
But Augie, may I just pause?
Okay.
And this isn't even planned or part of the show, but thank you because you do work hard.
Oh,
you'll break yourself for the people. And you do it every day, even when people make certain assumptions, even when, and we started scratching that iceberg of a topic, the tip of the iceberg about unions and politics, and we're in the most corrupt state in the union. But all of that aside, Augie, as a man of God and as a local boy, I am so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Super proud of you.
Thank you.
And I do cheer you on just as a sister in Christ because you fall forward to the best that you know how.
Do my best. I try.
And that's where when I saw you talking about your brother passing, and he was one of the few who stood with you, right?
Yeah.
And
him and my cousin Joe, a couple other family members. Normally I don't get depressed. You know what I mean? It's
not your nature.
Yeah, but I was like really depressed, and I was telling my wife, and my kids like, why? And then you talk with them, and you get back on the horse. Okay, good. And then my brother passed away, and then I'm wondering, like, did he make it to heaven? That was my question.
It's a real question.
Yeah, and I was like,
because that's eternity.
Correct. And my parents love them to death, but they never do a good job at like teaching us how to be affectionate. Like, tell your brother you love him. Tell your brother you love him. It wasn't like that. I couldn't even tell my dad. Like, it was hard. Only towards the ending of his life, with the dementia, that we would have conversation and he would know that I love him, which was like good for me. A lot of healing from the challenges of growing up. But with my older brother, I saw the abuse, I saw the neglect, I saw the abandonment, but then there was still my brother, the guy that taught me how to surf, taught me how to ride the bike. And yet we had a hard time saying we love you to each other, you know what I mean? Like, even our conversations, like, we'd get there, but you could tell that we were both like, nah, better not. You know, so when he died unexpectedly, I was like, did he make it? Did I do enough as a brother to let him know that I love him? Even to my brothers that's still living, like, are we doing enough?
Yeah.
And I remember Kim telling me, maybe you should go to Queens and go pray.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Ask God to maybe intercede.
Right.
Because I don't know.
Right.
And that broke me in the hospital. And it just happened that week. Pastor Mike at Inspire was doing like prayer for candidates.
Wow.
So I went.
Good for you.
Pray for candidates, right? And then there's like a men's devotional. And I wasn't gonna go, and I called my wife. She said, "You should go. Look like there's a lot of people." And I went, and I remember sitting in the front row, and Rex Crane was preaching, and I was like, "Holy smoke!" You know what I mean? Like he was talking directly to some of the challenges that I always felt as an entertainer. Like it's a very lonely place. People think like I'm very, I say hi to everybody.
You're very approachable.
Right?
You are Mr.
But,
Aloha.
Man, you don't.
But it is an isolated, lonely spot that you sit in.
And the people that you hurt are the closest to you because, they get the scraps, which is sad because, that's one of the things that I neglect as a dad and as a husband. That by the time I get home,
right,
I
you've
give my
wrung out the best of you.
Yeah.
And now we're just getting the drip drops.
Yeah, and sometimes Kim goes, "I'm gonna write a book."
I heard her say that on your podcast.
I'm gonna write a book and expose who you are.
The tell-all from Kim
Tulba. I don't know if you're gonna sell a lot. I think I did a good job at masking Augie, but in all seriousness, that's the reality. And my children have. I'm done apologizing because I've apologized enough as a father.
And as a husband, you said you apologize every day.
Yeah, you just try your best to be the best person you can be. But it's hard because, man, there's so much that people don't know. It
is isolation and it's lonely. But then when you're in that place after a lifetime of choices, your brother passes away, as you said, unexpectedly. And now you're faced with, how do I move forward? Because when from the outside looking in, my humble forgive me, please.
Yeah.
You look like the wind got knocked out of you. When you get punched in the gut, and we used to practice boxing as a kid. My daddy was Irish. We watched the show. Now you guys are practicing.
Yeah.
Dad, did you forget I'm a girl? No, I didn't. Go at it, right? Yeah. When you get socked in the stomach and you get the wind knocked out of you, you had the wind knocked out of you.
A little bit,
Did
but
it change you?
Well, we all think we know God, right?
You've always been a man of faith, Augie, but this was like a catalytic moment.
Well, I never get to ever talk about God with him. My brother. And I did with my dad. I did with my other brothers. But and that's the guy that I saw get neglected. As the guy below him. And I knew there was a lot of anger, and I knew there was a lot of did I do my best? He would call me when he was stressing out. And I was like, dude, just take a deep breath. So what was nice about that whole thing, I did the prayer, like maybe 2 weeks later, Mana, Mana, right?
Yes,
right?
Orion, yes. God forgives
God,
bad boys and bad girls.
Right. So he invites me to share it. That's sorry.
Wow.
So I go and I share it at a midweek service to a guy who's running the church at midweek service that some 20 years ago, I go to his house, invite him to go to church.
Whoa.
I was going to church. I was leading Bible studies in Waianae,
Oh, that's a nice
and he went there to pick up his nephew, and uncle was drinking, and now he leads a little church in Waipahu, right? And he told that story.
That's awesome.
And when I was sharing about my my new awakening, because God does things to wake you up, shake the tree a little bit. My brother's friend was there and told me he got saved. So I was like, oh, awesome.
Wow.
What a...
Yes, relief. Right.
Yeah, my brother gave his life up to Christ, really?
Wow.
But when at the funeral, they were showing pictures and his grandchildren was talking about going to church. And I was like, They had no idea. That's the thing. Like,
Oh,
how
wow. I did
crazy.
not know this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is really good news.
So his friend that was in jail with him said, Augs, I'll let you know, your brother he gave his life to Christ.
Praise Jesus.
I was like, oh, right on, cool.
Wow.
Right?
Augie.
So no, more appreciation to, read my Bible, share, and just try to be the best human I can be daily.
This is massive. I did not know the end to that story with your brother, that he had given his life, and that even to the third generation, as the Bible promises us, we will be blessed even to your children's children are going to church. Now, here's the next question I have for you. Okay. How do you sustain the change? Because you always have been a man of God. You have this catalytic moment that switched you back onto a right track with God. I've noticed a tremendous change in you. Are you in the Word of God daily? Are you praying daily? What's the trick, brother?
I just read my Bible daily, and then I, as much as I can, if I have time, I go on and do a video. What I learned, what I read, and part of it is accountability. So boom. I like that people are commenting. I like that I get to do this because it keeps me in check, and then because of that, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I speak with my father-in-law, who Kim's dad, who I don't relate, like.
This is an Holly guy from the Navy, right? Retired. He lives on the mainland.
Yeah, and
you guys connect every morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Before I jump on the air from like 5:30 to 6 o'clock, we have our daily Bible talk about everything that I read that morning, because he's a theologian. The guy has like so much degrees, right? So like, Augie, what was the intent? Who wrote the Bible? What are you learning from it? And this the guy, like,
parse the word in the etymology of Revelation. I love it.
The first time he met me, the first question he asked was, what was my credit score? I was like, what?
To marry his daughter. Yeah. So, girl.
And then I slept in another room.
Well, I hope so.
And
if he's a good man of God and
he married
a Navy guy.
He married us in a small little church. And
he was the officiant.
Yeah, it was nice, and so I get to spend some time with my father-in-law. We get to, and I think it helps my wife knowing that, I'm talking to her dad, and
big time.
She knows that, marriage is challenging, and I spread myself thin. And sometimes I don't listen to my wife. Sometimes I don't pay attention. Sometimes I don't take her on a date. But
there's accountability, and the accountability is with her dad. And if we can swap onto that, because that was my next question coming up.
Okay.
I love your wife. I mean, you love your wife, but I really love your wife. I watched a podcast with the two of you, and it was really quite intimate, as in honesty. There was a lot of transparency. I'm all about truth and transparency. And so my next question was going to say, Kim, Holly girl, which I used to always listen to you guys on the radio.
Yeah.
I did not know Holly girl was your wife.
Yeah.
And then it turns out she is, but you folks were talking, and I'm going to ask you, what's the key to a successful marriage team? Because you guys are, and she's a huge part of your success. But here's the other thing is, you said on that podcast, I apologize every single day.
Every day.
Multiple times.
Even when I walked in here, I was like, hey,
you did.
Sorry.
Yeah, you did. You're good at it. I can tell you've been successfully married to a good woman of God. And then she said, yeah, and he says yes all the time. So I have to remind him, Augie, can you write it down? Because you say yes to so-and-so, so-and-so.
Everybody.
That's why you work so hard. But if I don't write it down, we're going to forget. Yeah. So she's helped you to manage that. What's the key to successful marriage? Because I just heard a great quote that says, marriage is two sinners who come together as one. So how do we operate as a successful team for Jesus? How do you do that?
I just think, in all honesty, like, not giving up.
Wow.
Just no matter how bad it gets,
don't
give up. Because, if you're people in faith, that God can turn this around. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, at 56, who wants to try to have another relationship? You know what I mean? And what?
You're going to have to train up a whole new one.
And then follow with a wagon around Ross and Walmart.
On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, kupuna shopping days.
As much as there are a lot of bad moments, there are good moments too, right?
Huge.
So it's never, ever like amazing. So when I look at movies and you see that magic, I'm like,
the birds
make
are
a real
singing,
movie.
the sun is
Yeah,
setting.
make a real movie about us. Like, man, we lie every day. Like, I met my wife in the 1900s, guys, camera guys, in the 1900s. You know when lying was easy? I was lying from day one.
Because there was no tracking. There was no social media.
Yeah,
there
she
was no
cannot
phone
discover
tracker,
who you
right?
are.
Where's your location?
Right, now.
Who are you talking to on DMs?
Now it's, you know.
I track your every move.
No, the other day it was like, where you at, Augie? I'm at the gym. And she was like, oh, I never know Popeyes has a gym. It's like, gosh, there it goes.
It's a run through, not a drive-through.
Yeah, so now I know. I go to the gym, leave my phone in the locker, then I go to Popeyes. Gotta be smart. But like, yeah, not giving up. Not giving up because...
No matter how hard, because every marriage, I firmly believe, has hard times, has bad moments. And you're saying don't walk away.
A lot of it.
It's two sinners coming together as one big ball of sin.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So that's another question for you, Augie. Yeah. Thank you for that. How do you keep laughing even when times get tough or desperate? Gosh. Because there's a lot of hard times hitting. We've noticed since COVID, lockdowns, etc. Oops, I said the word. Edit that out. Charlie Victor.
Nah, leave it. This is truth, transparency, and trusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I decided to jump back on stage more because I just felt like we
need the joy of Augie T.
Well, but I needed to disconnect from, sitting in council.
Member.
Yeah. So like I've learned how to really manage the radio hat and then take off the radio hat and then go to council, put on the council hat, work hard at the council. And then on the weekends, take them off, right?
Yeah.
Your job as a council member never stops.
Yeah.
But I think in the last 4 years, I've done a good job at letting people know that you can do all these things and still serve your community.
Wow.
Like I love getting on stage and making people laugh. That's my little therapy, believe it or not.
It's your strength. The joy of the Lord is his strength.
And then
but it's yours.
And I love sitting in council, listening to discussions on how to either make people's lives better or worse, right?
Yeah.
And
that's what it comes down to.
I'm just worried that, a lot of the common sense in politics are not there because the people
are disconnected.
Well, no, I think it's so hard to get the seat at the table. I was talking to this. Wow. I was talking about this. I was a speaker at the Kauai Republican Party.
Thank you.
And I walked up on stage and I kind of went, is this the demographic of Hawaii? Because it doesn't look like.
Kauai, yes.
Well, but like,
I know what you're saying.
Overall, right?
It's changing. It's shifting.
For me, it's like when I go to events, I always look at it like church, the welcoming, right? The first reason why you like at that church is because the guy that met you at the door. Hey, thank you for coming.
The greeter.
You're gonna have an exciting time.
Yeah.
And
Aloha.
you feel like, okay, this is
getting amped.
So when I go to different events and I don't get greeted or I kind of go,
Right.
And I've learned a lot in the 4 years. And when I went out and helped certain candidates and I would have conversation and we'd hit on like amazing like we talking about all the things that matter to people. And then I go, can you please support this candidate? And they look at you and they go, you're Republican? And I go, wow, I never know you're Republican too. Because in Hawaii, what are we concerned about? Public safety. Can my family live here? Can I live? Can I really live here? Live, work, and play here?
Right.
And believe it or not, the kind of values I have is the same kind of values Democrats have, Republicans have.
Thank
but
you.
How can we get to the table when everyone thinks that the party's just this way?
Right.
There's more people here
in the middle
that we gotta go talk to.
Thank you.
That concerned about like the high cost of living.
Yes.
Can mom and dad live here?
Right. Are my kids going to college and going away for life? Or are they going to come home?
That's where we got to go to.
That's
we got to start talking about that.
That's
right?
really good,
And electing people with common sense.
So getting more people to the table who can appeal to more people.
The Republican Party is the party with common sense because for a long time we saw this party take us to where we're at right now.
Well, since statehood.
I mean, if you like it, continue to go that way.
How's that working out for you?
I cannot tell you what to do.
Right.
And I would never ever tell you what to do. But, you know,
if we see the reality of Hawaii today and this works for you, then that's great.
Right.
But if it's not working for you, then let's vote different. But here's a little monkey wrench in our statement right now.
Okay.
That less than 10% of the Hawaii population is voting anymore. Right. Because if we compare it to a woman, the woman is backed off of the table. Right. She's not having this nonsense anymore. Right. Exactly.
Both sides.
It is both sides. But I'm going to swing off of this just because I love you.
Yeah. No worry.
And this is such a quality thing. Can we have you back, Augie? I know you're a busy man, but if I ask him on camera, he won't feel any pressure whatsoever.
No, and I apologize. This is supposed to go an hour. But the mayor of the city, County Honolulu, and I'm going to out you. He was like, I'm sorry. I thought it was 10. I was there at 9.
He's going to throw the mayor of the city and county of Honolulu under the bus.
Absolutely.
Wait, I'm backing my bus up right now.
9:15. I was there ready.
No. And you did radio this morning. I heard you. Yeah. You went to city and county at another meeting, and then you had us.
I was on blessing, and I was like, you late.
So to put a cap on our political discussion, Aloha is the key to bring more people to the table. Here's the last question I had for you. Because I grew up super extremely poor like you did. We both try our best to keep going forward, imua forward, falling forward, whatever it takes, keep going forward. But we both have a compassion and a passion for youth today. You know, I go up to right by Ka'ewai Elementary is the police department. It's the pool. I'm always there. We have Kam IV. I'm up at Kalihi Elementary. I love our neighborhood, brother.
Yeah.
What would you say to youth today? Because there's too many temptations, too many criminal interests where they can make a fast buck. But what would you speak into that young man who's growing up in Kam IV today?
You know, I believe every kid is a dreamer, right? They don't want to be a part of bad situations or bad environment. So let me talk to the parent.
Wow.
Because a lot of the stuff that we're seeing right now is because of, I think, just bad examples. You know what I mean? Like, we have become a lawless society. Like, I get, put speed humps, do this, do that, right? And I tell people with speed humps, you know, gonna slow down emergency medical services.
There it is.
Right?
Right.
How about if we just follow the law?
Right.
It's just 25. Drive
slow
25.
In a residential school district. Right.
So when I look at children coming from the background I had, you can make good and bad choices, right? But like, I also saw my mom and dad work hard. Weren't the smartest, you know, but I saw both of them doing what they're supposed to do as parents, right? Like, you saw this e-bike situation with
huge,
right?
Another child just died.
I said, how come parents don't know where their kids are, right? Like, so.
Thank you.
So for me, right, like, my dad knew I had crazy friends. It's not like they never know. Like, that boy right there, Augie, right? No, Dad, he's good.
No, this is true. Right? Back in the day, they knew who we were hanging out with.
And when I would ride my bike, and I want kids to ride the bike,
running with?
Have fun.
Yes.
But be careful, be safe. That's the reason why I called, with the bill, with Tyler Dos Santos, I co-introduced it because for me, I want you guys to ride, but be safe.
Be responsible.
Right? And be responsible.
If you're riding a vehicle, they can go faster than 15 miles per hour.
If I was with my crazy friends, I judged everything based on getting lickings from my dad.
Right. It was in the back of our minds.
Or like maybe getting, like, I would rather not get lickings from my dad.
Yeah.
And, you know, my friends did some bad things. I just went the other way.
Right.
And in life, that's it, right? You you can either take the path that's easy or the path that's hard. And God always gave me the harder path.
Well, you had good parents. I mean, we all have parents who have their faults, but you had a mom who cared, a dad who cared, so that we did get dirty lickings. If we acted up, I knew I was going to get the butt whooping of my life. And I just had one the other day, but I'm going to get a new one of my life if my dad saw what I was doing. So you and I had a moral compass, so to speak. And that seems to be what's missing. So you're addressing parents right now.
Yeah, and because
be the unpopular
your kids
parent.
are dreaming. They're dreamers. Like, give them that platform to dream. And the only way you can give them that platform to dream is to see, like, tomorrow gonna look okay.
Yes.
If I'm looking around,
yes,
you know, and things are tough, mom and dad are fighting, homelessness. How can you dream that my life gonna be better?
Come on.
You know what I mean? So, like,
that's good, Augie.
Give them a home that they can dream. I was poor, but I never felt poor. Does that make sense?
The house was our sanctuary. I'm going home, right?
Yeah.
Home is home base because it's my sanctuary.
Didn't know I was
it's my
poor
pu'uhonua.
until, you know, I got the token. And I was like, why come my
for lunch at school?
How come my coin is different from everybody else?
And ours would float on water.
And then I remember
why?
One of my classmates looked at me and said, because you're poor, Augie. Really? I never know.
It was a fake quarter and a fake dime. You're a little bit older than me, but mine was a quarter and a dime fake.
Keep dreaming.
Yes.
Dream. Like,
and parents, give them the platform to dream.
Yeah.
Give them the platform to dive into their
They already know, like,
success.
Life is tough. Man, it's so complex because I think we got to fix our schools. I think we got to fix our family first. And then I think we got to fix our you know, I remember being in class and they would have a guest speaker come and they all say the same thing, right? Inspirational speakers. You are tomorrow's future. And he sat there and he went, yes, I'm tomorrow's future. And I only had one homeless person in the neighborhood that you all knew, right?
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then you become an adult and you look around and now there's 300. Did the future get better? Right? Who are you talking to? So, like,
I'm only laughing because this is so true.
No, when I talk to kids, I don't even say that.
Yeah.
I don't say that because I'm on this thing where, like, find the strong and not the wrong.
Wow.
Right?
Come
like,
on.
it's so easy to find all the wrong.
Find the strong and not the wrong. And we're going to bring this in on a landing right there.
There's so many people that are so strong in our communities. Let's go help them.
Yes.
Right? Because we have dreamers, kids that thinking, like, I don't want to be here.
Children.
Yeah.
Who want to perpetuate.
And all they're seeing right now is the wrongs.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Especially because of media.
How do we show them the strong?
But we can spotlight the strong.
Yeah.
And
how do we do that?
Be the strong.
How do we inspire them that there's people in our community that are doing amazing things? You know what I mean? Because it's so easy. You wake up every day and you go,
right.
Just
There's a lot that's going wrong.
Yeah.
It's tough time to grow up.
Hard to dream when you see.
Hard to dream, but we can still make. I can't look, as one of my guests said earlier, we can't blame the White House. We can't blame the governor's house or the mayor's house.
No.
I can't even blame Augie T, but I can take responsibility for my house because I can't change all of those necessarily. But today I'm going to change mine.
Yeah.
So highlight the strong, not the wrong.
Yeah.
Can we hanaho you, Augie T?
Of course.
This is
and next time,
brother.
Mr. Mayor, be on time so you know we can actually do a full interview and
put a filter on my boom busting laugh.
And I was like, Don, you know, I'm running 15 minutes.
And he even answered a phone call. He's like, Don, what's up? Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
did you get us lunch? Oh no, sorry, I'm in a lunch. I'm in a meeting. But
you see that?
He's coming back.
Every day it's like that with my wife.
Call. I love it.
Every day it's like
Holly
that.
Girl, she's coming back with you next time. Augie Tulba or Augusto Tulba. Thank you for your time. Thank you for what you're doing to fight for the spirit of Aloha in the state of Aloha. You are the people's hero. And we'll have you back soon. Cheers!